Are you looking to up your cruise game by stepping up to premium cruise lines? Today, we are counting down the top 10 features of two of the best out there, Celebrity Cruise Lines and Princess Cruises. Welcome to RTE-Travel Talk, Ask a Real Travel Expert, the show that talks to travel professionals around the world. And today, I'm delighted to be joined by Kathy Schmauss of Cruise Holidays of Viera to count down her top 10 feature list for Celebrity Cruises and Princess Cruise Lines. And if you enjoy the journey with us today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if this video's got you inspired, give it a thumbs up or drop a comment and join the conversation. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for being part of our travel community, whether you're a longtime fan or just dropping by. We really appreciate it. And now, on with the show. Hi, Kathy. Welcome back to RTE Travel Talk.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So I've been looking forward to this, Kathy. One of the things that we see on this channel is folks are always wondering about perhaps stepping up to a premium cruise line from more mainstream cruise lines that they've been on, but they're just not sure whether they're ready to step up to a premium cruise line or go to luxury. So, like I said, a lot of people are looking to upgrade their experience. One of the questions we get all the time is which one is right for me. So today, I thought you and I could cover the top 10 things cruisers want to know when comparing two of the best premium cruise lines out there, which are Princess Cruises and Celebrity. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to it on our top 10. So, okay, number one, when you think about these two cruise lines, is ship style and atmosphere. How do they measure up?
They're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of these cruise lines builds extremely big ships.
Right.
Like the contemporary brands that are going to these mega ships with thousands and thousands, they're tapping out around 3,500 on their bigger ships. They both still have a nice fleet of smaller ships that range from 1,900 to maybe 2,300, 2,400 people. They're older ships, but they're very well maintained and they're getting refurbished on an ongoing basis. So it's a more intimate experience on both of these cruise lines.
Exactly. So you're not on board with 7,000 of your closest friends.
Exactly. Exactly. And, if you've not been on the ship before, it might take you an hour to learn where everything is.
Yeah.
So it's an immediate comfort of not having to spend 2 days just learning how to get from point A to point B. So that's also good.
So number two is something that's always on people's minds is the dining. How does the dining compare between Princess and Celebrity?
They're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
They both have the buffets. They both now have Dine Your Way. One thing that's different, Princess now, you have to make reservations for all your dining.
Okay.
And they want you to do it through the app.
Right.
If you can, but you can now do it through your desktop as well. Even if you're just doing your mainstream dining, you can book into that particular dining room for the same time each night, same table, but then you have the flexibility of doing it my time, switching it around, switching times for different days depending on your excursions and that. Same thing with Celebrity. They've got the main dining room that is your traditional seating, and then they have the one probably usually upstairs is their select. But even with the Celebrity Select, you can go in and request to have the same table at the same time every night.
Right.
So it's very flexible with both of them.
Right.
I feel like their food is very comparable. The quality is better than your contemporary brands. And they have very good specialty dining restaurants. Not as many as the bigger ships, but you're always going to get a nice steakhouse. You're going to get a nice Italian, a seafood, and now they're getting into the sushi and that kind of stuff too as well.
Let's talk about Celebrity for a minute, because on their Edge class ships, correct me if I'm wrong, they actually have 4 main dining rooms that you can rotate around through. Is it the same on Princess?
They don't have that many. No,
Mm-hmm.
they just have the 2
Okay.
that they have that you can rotate with.
Right.
Now, I haven't been on the brand new Star Princess, their new ship that's coming out in November. There could be some changes with her with being the new ship as well.
And again, when we talk about the dining on the Edge class ships, you have a choice of 4 main restaurants that you can dine in, but that doesn't apply to all the different classes of ships.
No,
the older ships on Celebrity.
I was just on the Constellation in May,
Yeah.
and they just have 2 dining rooms. that's all they have, the smaller ships. But the Edge series, yeah, you've got more to pick from.
Exactly, exactly. But long story short, to put a cap on number two here, you're going to have either one of them, princess or celebrity. The quality of the food is excellent, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so number three, and it's a big one, is accommodations. How do the two lines measure up there?
Well, they both go from an inside cabin
Mm-hmm.
up to suites and different types of suites with different amenities that come with the
Mm-hmm.
suites. Celebrity has gotten into the retreat where you're going to have a dedicated concierge, you'll have a dedicated restaurant, the Lumine, you'll have a special area on the deck that you can go to. And then Princess, they have a similar thing. They don't really call it a retreat or anything, but their highest level suite is going to give you every, benefit that you can get with them as well. You can pick whatever cabin category that you want. They've even within the balcony, there's probably 5 different balcony categories, depending whether it's forward, aft, midship, high deck, low deck. So they both have so many different levels that you can find something to fit your
And
style
that's
and
a
your
really
needs.
good point when you consider looking at either one of these two cruise lines, is that it pays to have the services of an expert travel advisor that's familiar with these ships. Celebrity, for example, I think at last count they've got maybe 26 categories of staterooms.
Yeah,
Like how do you keep all that straight? For the average person that's just looking in, well, they're not going to know the differences, and that's where you come in. Yeah,
exactly. You have to have someone who knows what these balconies categories
yeah,
mean and how it impacts the
yeah,
price for sure.
yeah.
And the same thing with the suites too. And the other thing is that they are also getting into the solo cabin craze or realization that there's so many solo travelers that you can get a nice solo cabin. Celebrity and Princess, their solo cabins are balconies,
Oh, fantastic.
and there are not very many of them.
So
And
that,
it's really the newer ship, the Edge series,
yeah,
and then the Star and the Sky, the newer ships with Princess that have them.
right,
But
right.
we're all moving towards that
And
because there's a high demand
And yeah, exactly.
for
And
it.
because there's a high demand, they're probably one of the ones that sell out first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about the entertainment? Number four, the entertainment on board.
Very good.
Yeah.
Neither one do the Broadway shows
Mm-hmm.
like Royal and Norwegian on some of their longer cruises, but I find that their production shows are very good. They have plenty of entertainment around. They've got lots of trivia.
Yeah.
They've got comedy. They've got smaller game show stuff. There's a lot of fun things to do on both. Celebrity is known for their bartender show at the Martini
Yeah.
Bar every
Yeah.
night. That's quite fun.
So you mentioned that they don't have the Broadway shows. So unlike a cruise line like Royal Caribbean, where there's a Broadway show, what you mean by that is it's not Cats or Hairspray or that sort of that. You're not going to find that, but you are going to find
Right.
great production shows in either one of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there'll be a themed kind of
Yeah.
show. The performers
Mm-hmm.
are very talented, great singers, great
Yeah.
dancers. It's still very, very good on both cruise lines. I think they both do a good job with that.
Well, yes, and these kids that put these shows on, they just work their hearts out.
They
They do a
do.
wonderful
They
job.
do.
Quick pause, folks. Don't worry, I'm not long-winded. I just want to share our brand new channel memberships. For just $1.99 and up a month, you'll get fun perks like badges, early video access, travel webinars, and even travel opportunities with some of our experts. It's a great way to be part of our travel community while getting a little extra along the way. Just hit the join button below for more details. And now, back to our show. So, number five, itineraries. Is there a difference between itineraries for these lines, or is there something that you should look out for on Princess or Celebrity?
I will say, hands down, if you're going to Alaska, you want to do Princess.
Okay.
They created the product, and when you do a cruise tour with them, you are staying in their lodges. They're not renting space in other hotels because I've done them both.
Yeah.
I've done Princess and I've done Celebrity in Alaska. There's just a level of confidence, I guess,
Hmm.
of being in the hands of Princess the entire time,
Yeah.
and they just do it better.
Yeah.
And then in Europe, Princess does a much better job in the British Isles, that they've got 3 or 4 itineraries that are outstanding
Hmm.
if you want British Isles. And Celebrity does a good job in the Med.
Right.
They both do, but I think Celebrity's better in the med. And if Greece is what you want, they've got a Greece intensive. Celebrity has a Greece
Yep.
intensive itinerary. Celebrity also has I think, a unique Spain and Portugal out of Southampton that they do a couple of times a year. So depending on where you're going, I will compare the two and pick the best itinerary
Okay.
for you. To me, food, the entertainment, the ship itself is a toss up.
Yep.
So I'm drilling it down to itinerary and who's got the best itinerary of where you want to go between those two cruise
Right
lines.
on. So Alaska's a slam dunk for Princess.
Princess does it a little bit
Yeah.
better.
In the Caribbean, in the Med, we probably look towards Celebrity a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, in the Caribbean during the winter season,
Hmm.
neither one of these cruise lines has a big presence in the Caribbean in the summertime.
Right.
They're there from October, November to March, April.
Yeah.
And I will say that Princess has some really good itineraries that take you down to the Southern Caribbean. Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, you're going to St. Thomas, St. Martin, San Juan on the Eastern. You're going to the same places over and
Yep.
over again. Princess does 10 days Southern that will give you islands like Barbados, Antigua, Martinique, the really nicer islands,
Yep.
and something a little bit different. Celebrity has a few of those, but they still tend to gravitate to the Royal Caribbean because they're owned by Royal.
No,
So
exactly. So in the Caribbean, then, if you're looking for something a little different, it's Princess.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Number 6, technology. How do these two stack up?
Well, on the new ships, they're all getting much
Hmm.
better about adding outlets and adding kiosks, by the elevators for you to map and find out where you
Right.
go. They both have pretty good apps for you to use while you're on board. I do like Princess because they're using the medallion.
Okay.
And that is a step up from any other cruise line. If you've been to Disney and you got the magic bands and you know how the magic band is your entry ticket, if you stay at a hotel, it's your, door key.
Hmm.
The medallions are the same thing on Princess. They give you one in a plastic case to use as a lanyard, but you can buy watch bands and bracelets and pretty necklaces to put this little medallion in. And it's really neat because it's your room key, and when you approach your room, there's a screen outside your door, and your security photo comes up and it unlocks the door before you even get there. The other thing that you can do with that is you can order food and beverage anywhere on the ship and have it delivered to you. So if you're out on the sun deck and you're sunning and you don't want to get up and go to the bar,
Right.
through the app, you can order a drink and they will know exactly where you are and bring the drink to you. Same in the theater. You sit down getting ready to watch a show and you go, I decide I want a drink, and you order it through the app and they bring the drink to you in the theater. You don't have to get up and go get it.
Yeah, that's
The other
actually
neat
really neat because
It is very neat.
like
And another
if you're sitting in that theater, you might see the bartender once.
Yes. And say you're sitting in the middle because you want that middle seat and
Exactly. Yeah.
you got to get up and crawl over all those
Yeah.
people to
Yeah.
go where they'll just bring it to you.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. The other neat thing is if you're traveling with other people, you create a group
Right.
and you know where those people are on the ship at all times. My husband and I did Alaska with Princess last August, and we're traveling with two of his cousins. They booked after we did, and so our excursions didn't line up.
Right.
But when we got to port and we separated and did our excursions, when we got back on the ship, we could look and see whether or not they were back on the ship yet. And if they were, and they were back in the back at the
You can find them.
sunset bar at the back of the ship, I could find them and we could meet
Yeah,
up.
that's
So
huge. Yeah.
that's a really
And
nice feature to have.
not only that, think about kids. If
Yes,
you're
very
traveling with
important
kids,
with kids.
they can be on the other end of the ship and you know where they are.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can text,
Mm.
without using
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, through the app
Yeah.
and communicate with the people in your group as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. Excellent. So, Kathy, one of the things that we should think about when it comes to technology and programs and that sort of thing on board is the loyalty programs. How do you think Princess stacks up against Celebrity when it comes to the loyalty programs that they both offer? Are there any advantages to one or the other?
The biggest advantage that Celebrity
Yeah.
has is that they're owned by Royal Caribbean.
Right.
and they have a whole market that they can tap into. So say you're a loyal royal,
Right.
there's a lot of them out there.
Yes.
Thousands of people have reached their diamond or higher
Hmm.
status, and you're stuck going to the same places. So, what rightfully so and smartly, Celebrity has now said, well, if you have status with Royal and you book with us, whatever the equivalent of our status is to your Royal, you automatically get it. So, say you're Diamond or Diamond
Right.
Plus, then on Celebrity, you're instantly elite
Yeah.
and you get all the benefits that the elite level brings you. Now, you don't earn any Royal points by booking on Celebrity because you still have the separation that whatever cruise line you book on is the points that you
Yeah.
earn. But to instantly have high status, why would you not start, leave Royal behind and elevate your
Yeah.
experience
No, for
and go to
sure.
better
Yeah.
itineraries and not have to start all over
Yeah.
again? That you instantly have high
Yeah.
status to do that. Princess unfortunately doesn't have a cruise line. I don't believe Carnival, Carnival owns Princess. I don't think that they've got that reciprocal thing.
Right.
So you don't have that, but that is definitely a very positive thing with Celebrity in their relationship with Royal.
That's a definite plus if you're considering stepping up for sure. So let's move
Yeah.
on to number 7, service. How do they stack up?
I think because of the crew to guest ratio that they carry, both still do 2 cabin services per day,
Hmm.
unlike Royal and Norwegian that have cut them back to once a day.
Right.
And then the number of cabins that each steward has to handle is still reasonable. So you definitely have more attentive staff for sure,
Yeah.
and all the bartenders, the wait staff in the dining rooms, they're just great. They know what they're doing. They're seasoned,
Yeah.
and they do a good job.
But Kathy, when you talk about that, those are a couple little things that make a big difference to your overall experience.
Absolutely, it
Like Royal
does.
Caribbean does a fantastic job, but if you got 7,000 people and you have a room steward who's looking after 20 staterooms,
25,
20, well, there you go, who's looking after 25
25.
staterooms.
It is hard to keep
Yeah.
up. I did the Utopia last
Yeah.
year. One day, the steward didn't even come to do our room until 4 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon. And we were in the middle of getting ready
Yeah.
for dinner. And I said, well, just come back later. And she goes, no, I have to be done by 5. I said, then you're not doing my room today.
Yeah.
Not her fault.
Yeah. And it's not her fault, but
So we didn't get service that
and
day.
with
Yeah.
Princess and Celebrity, the thing always used to be room steward must hide under the bed because every time you left the room, it got cleaned up.
Yeah.
So, and where the service part of it enters into it really is that crew to passenger ratio.
Yes,
When there's more crew for the number of passengers, they can spend that little extra time with a guest. They're not so rushed. They're not stressed. That leads to, with both of these cruise lines, that leads to those little special memories that they help to create.
for sure. Just little things like
Yeah, so
that.
really
Yeah.
with service, if folks are considering going from mainstream, like the mass market lines, like and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean, up to Princess and Celebrity, that's probably where you're going to see the biggest difference. Are those little things,
Yes.
wouldn't you think?
That and the food.
Yeah,
It's quite significant,
yeah,
the step up in the food,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Oh no, it would be. Like we
Yeah.
noticed it from Royal Caribbean to Celebrity.
Yeah.
There's just a big difference. So number 8, values
Okay.
and inclusions. Who do you think gives the best value and includes the most?
Princess.
Really?
Their Princess Plus, Princess Premium package, hands down, the best amenity package of any cruise
Mm-hmm.
line. For $60 a day, and this includes free gratuities. And your gratuities, when you look at what that $60 a day
Yeah.
is, you need to look at that daily gratuity and subtract it from that 60 because you're going to pay it one way or the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if it's 60, but your gratuity's 18, you subtract that out and it's really $42 a
Yeah.
day. And you're getting their drink package, and their drink package includes gratuities. Every other cruise line that will give you a drink package, you still, or you buy a drink package, you still have to pay gratuities every time you order a drink. On Princess, you do not. You literally get free drinks. You get, depending on the length of the cruise, they've now separated their specialty dining into traditional and casual, which is their pizzeria, their Irish pubs, that
Right.
level. I think they just updated it. Instead of doing the casual dining, they're giving you a shore excursion credit now, the way Holland does.
Okay.
But you get Wi-Fi, you get the drink package, you get your medallions are shipped to you for
Right.
free. You get the juice bar. You get 2 group exercise classes for free per cruise,
Yeah.
cycling or yoga. They make you pay for those. You get some of those for free. The only thing that Celebrity offers now is the drink package and Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And
Um,
they've
and
separated out gratuities. The gratuities are an extra, right?
even suite guests have to pay their
Yeah.
gratuities. So you're getting a drink package that you have to pay gratuities on, and you're getting Wi-Fi, and that's it. That's all you're going to get when you add that
Yeah.
to. And to be honest, it's much cheaper to not add it to your cruise fare. Don't add the have it all, and wait until they put their pre-cruise planner items on sale and buy your drink package at 35% off or buy one, get one that way than doing it through the have it all.
Really
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Like on one hand, well, first of all, I love Celebrity. We've been with them 17 times.
Mhm.
But I kind of agree. I agree with you. I'm not a fan of what they've done, separating that all out.
Yep.
It's all in service of being able to get the lowest possible price advertised. But savvy cruisers basically know the difference, and especially savvy travel advisors know the difference as well.
And more, when I book somebody,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Celebrity, they'll say, "I want the drink package. Give me the have it all." And I'm like, "No, no, no. We'll just do cruise only,
yeah,
and we'll wait."
yeah,
I get notification when those sales happen. When I know that the drink package is 35%
yeah,
off or 50% off or
yeah,
whatever, then I let my, clients know, "Go to your cruise planner, go ahead and buy it now
yeah.
because it'll be so much cheaper."
Exactly, and it's about taking care of your clients because you want them to come back
Yeah,
time and time again, right? Not
absolutely.
just sell them a bill of goods
Absolutely.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9, demographics. Is it the same crowd on each cruise line?
Their average cruiser is 58
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
They will get children when they're doing multi-generational
Yeah.
type cruising in the summer times where grandma and grandpa are paying for everything and
Yeah.
kids and grandkids are going together. On the Constellation in May, I was shocked. The table next to us in the main dining room, there was a family with young children, and I just thought this just is not a cruise for young children. They have a kids program, but it's not what what the family brands do.
Yeah.
On Alaska, spring break, at certain times of the year when you're going to get, and in Europe, again, multi-generational, grandma and grandpa usually paying for it.
Yeah.
You'll get some kids, but they're usually older
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
but not very many.
Neither one of them have a strong kids program. Princess is probably a little bit stronger than Celebrity, I would tend to
Little
think.
bit.
Yeah.
I just think because they've had a lot more multi-generational cruising on them over the years because of Alaska
Mm,
and everything than
yeah.
Celebrity.
So you're saying the average age is about 58, but would you tend to think that Celebrity probably skews a little slightly younger? Because that's
Yeah,
actually the market they're
yeah,
going for. They're
yes,
going for the 40 something and up now.
yes, they are. I mean, you look at their commercials.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody age 50 or
No.
higher in any of their commercials now. And I think Celebrity is really more than Princess is striving to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. And well,
Yeah.
and we've arrived at number 10. What the overall
Okay.
vibe on the ships?
Fun, relaxed, and depending on the size of the ship
Mhm.
and, where you are, again, Caribbean cruises are very different than Alaska
Yep.
cruises and European cruises. The Caribbean, you're looking for fun stuff around the pool and on the deck and a fun director, and I think they both hit the mark with that. Casual elegance, neither one of them pushes a formal night very
Right.
heavily. Celebrity calls it evening chic
Yep.
now. Princess still calls it formal, but most people it's cocktail. You'll find the robe gown and tuxedo, and those are just the people that enjoy dressing up, and they're going to do it regardless.
Yep.
Overall, the vibe very similar on both ships. Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, Kathy, this has been an absolutely great breakdown. The 10 things that we went over today should help people to choose the right line. When you're trying to decide stepping up from the mainstream to premium, it's best to have the services of an expert travel advisor to help you make that jump.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you might like to add before we sail on out of here today?
Just that I've got a Princess British Isles cruise, a group going out in August of 2027. I've just recently put the group deposit down on a 12-day British Isles on Princess that I'm really excited about.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'll leave that information in the show notes. If folks wanted to reach out to you, Kathy, about a possible cruise with Celebrity Princess, how would they do that?
Well, they can call me or text me at 321-298-5829 or shoot me an email at kathycruises03@gmail.
Super. I'll leave that contact information in the show notes for those people that might like to reach out. But as always, Kathy, since I like to live vicariously through the travels of all the wonderful people that I meet on this show, I have to know where you're actually off to next. You told me about your Princess Cruise. Is that next on the travel to-do list, or what's next?
Actually, next on the list is the Celebrity Apex out of Port Canaveral. I've got 32 clients going with me for a nice winter break on Edge Class Series ship out of Port Canaveral for the first time. So that's next, and we got a lot of Europe next year as well.
Perfect. I always like to hear about the Edge class ships. So the Apex sounds amazing. We'll definitely have you back to regale us with your adventures on board that ship. How does that sound?
Awesome. I'd love to do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, with that, Kathy, I'm just going to wish you safe and happy travels on all your future cruises and destinations. May the wind always be at your back. And I hope to see you on the Lido deck of a Princess or Celebrity ship sometime soon in the future.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And that about wraps it up for today, folks. A very special thanks to my guest, Kathy Schmauss of Cruise Holidays of Viera. If you'd like to reach Kathy, I will leave her contact information in the description. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can simply drop a comment. We always respond. Or you can send us an email at questions@realtravelexperts.com. And as always, folks, if you enjoyed this episode, a like, share, subscribe, and a ring of the bell is certainly appreciated and helps other folks just like you to find the channel. And of course, if you're really enjoying the content and want to show a little extra love, we hope you'll think about becoming a channel member. It really helps us to keep on delivering the travel advice, expert interviews, and destination reviews you've come to know and love. So until next time, folks, happy travels.